1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are on episode 30, the big 3-0. We have done three, I almost said 3 dozen. That would be 36. Shit.
That would be. Well, no, wait, is that a baker's dozen or is that a...
Oh, baker's dozen's even more. I think that's 14.
Is that 13?
It's 13.
It's
more than 12.
Like, it's 12 and then one extra to make sure you're not scamming.
It's all gone terribly, terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to the podcast. Again, 30 episodes. And we're still going. Starting off with our topics, this was something that you'd suggested. I kind of broadened it a little bit. And this is something that has just been... It's been a craze, I think, since the video game Minecraft came out. But survival, exploration, and building games in general. That they have, like, crafting and monsters and exploration where you find random loot and treasures and resources. They've been...
When did 7 Days come out? Was that before Minecraft?
Oh, no, it was long after. Minecraft came out when I was still in college. I want to say it was, like, 2008, 2009. Yeah. So it's been around for more than a decade. I mean, back then it was, like, pre-alpha and... You know, having the resources to make a cake would make you like the richest man on earth.
God, yeah, I get you. I remember.
But now it's become a lot more. There's a lot more to it. The leveling system wasn't in there back then, so it's expanded significantly. But the massive success of Minecraft, I think, was something that contributed to all these new survival crafting games that have come out, and even AAA games having survival crafting elements in them.
It's surprising that, like, every month or two there is this new game fad, but none of them have stuck around for anything like the lifespan of Minecraft.
Yeah. I mean, God, we talked about it in the last podcast. Even you and I went back and started playing Minecraft again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those, it's an easy itch to scratch kind of thing. It's a little, like, creative thing, and it's, it's the go-to.
They got the formula right, and it's always just, like, a very... You can make all kinds of cool stuff, but it's not so elaborate that it's intimidating. Anyway,
you can decide your own difficulty based on what you do.
Yeah, and I feel like when you're talking about like new games passing fads, I feel like that's been all of the successors to Minecraft though, because there was 7 Days, which Scott very much loves and plays all the time, or continues wanting to go back to, but that one is much more on the apocalyptic side. There's a lot more zombies. It's much more on the survival aspect than the crafting and creativity aspect. You've got games
I feel like if I talk about 7 Days, I'm just going to end up giving it a bad rep. And I don't want to piss off Scott.
Yeah.
So maybe you should talk a little bit about 7 Days.
Well, I'm not going to do much better. I didn't really like it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was one of those games that it was like... Again, going back to Minecraft, I could play that game. I could sit down and just play it by myself for hours and really enjoy myself. That game I can't do, like, for hours by myself. The thing that made it fun was the fact that we had, like, a bunch of people on there, and we all were doing different things. We had a base, and we had to work together to defend it or blow each other up by accident.
Yeah. I mean, the most fun I had on there, I did generally have fun on it at some points, was that we found, like, a cache of landmines and spent the rest of the day trying to blow each other up with landmines.
I mean, my favorite thing about it was the like using resources and stuff to actually make our bases seem like livable.
I never got to the stage where I had a base.
The way I would always describe it was, everyone else can go out and explore and fight the zombies. I'm gonna Martha Stewart this bitch.
Alright. Yeah, I died to dogs, frostbite, all kinds of frickin' things, and I never really got the opportunity to survive.
So in the original version of that game, you could, customize your character, obviously, and you could customize their skin color, but they just used a gradient, so you could be completely white or completely black. Like... just the color black, so you're just like two eyeballs in a void, or completely white so that you fucking disappear in the snow. Like, it was... So of course I made a character that was like had the slider cranked all the way to one end, and oh man, so there were fond memories of the game, but they were usually played with other people.
Yeah.
I don't want to get
Go
sorry.
on.
I don't want to get too far off in the weeds because one of the reasons for bringing this up, there's one that's come out fairly recently that you've been
Hang on,
putting...
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay. Alright.
After 7 days, the logical progression for me after 7 days is like Ark Survival Evolved. Have you played that game?
I have played it, and I didn't spend enough time on that game because I've seen some of the crazy stuff people get up to in that. But
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on it back in the day.
so
And-
I should probably give some background. Ark Survival Evolved is another, again, survival crafting like multiplayer game.
Yeah.
But the twist is there are dinosaurs.
Yes, so the instead of having a randomly generated map, with Ark Survival Evolved it's a set map. And it's like this big island, very tropical, although it gets like mountainous and snowy up at the top of it.
Yeah.
And yes, as Kaiser says, there are dinosaurs, and the further north you go, the more lethal the dinosaurs are. So you can kind of gauge for yourself where you want to put yourself. However, so I played it for quite a long time with a group of people, and we were having a lot of fun. Doing everything takes a lot of effort. That is to say, capturing a dinosaur, first of all, you have to slowly feed it berries or shoot it with narcotic arrows to make it go to sleep. And then you literally have to spend hours feeding it berries while it's asleep. And if something comes along, if like a fucking boulder rolls down a cliff and just crushes its head, it's dead. You can't do shit.
What?
Go.
That game has like a remarkable amount of progression in it too, because you start off with a loincloth banging rocks together, and you can end up riding a dinosaur firing a machine gun by the end of it.
Absolutely. And at the end of the time that I was playing it, we'd gone up north. We'd got warm clothing. We'd gone into the frozen north. We'd got a pack of what's the fucking wolves called from Game of Thrones?
Direwolves?
Direwolves. We had a pack of direwolves, right? And a bunch of other dinosaurs. And one day, one of us was on the server, and something called they're called prime animals.
Yeah.
Basically, a raptor, a normal fucking raptor, not very strong, right? Prime raptors are like double the speed, triple the aggression. Like we're talking like a dinosaur on fucking
Cocaine.
drugs right now. Yeah. And he just literally sped into the base and killed all of our dinosaurs.
Oh my god.
Like things that were like 4 times the size of this motherfucker. And yeah, so then we'd lost like so many hours of playtime, and you do make a connection to these imaginary animals. And it's kind of heartbreaking.
This is a formula that I think Ark Survival Evolved got right, and that Minecraft got right, and that's that. In these types of like crafting and progression games, you like if you want people to be invested and keep playing, like you have to make them work for their like Dragon's Horde of Decadence or whatever the hell they have. So like you like in Minecraft, it takes forever to find diamonds and stuff. So the fact that you can have a diamond helmet or a diamond pick or something like that, it's like, ooh, look at this shiny thing that I've created. And in that one, it takes so long to actually get the dinosaurs and work your way up to the fact that you have guns and things.
Yeah.
That being said, it is awful when that happens.
Yeah, it was crushing, and it made me and quite a few other people just quit the server because it was literally like a restart.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a great base still and materials and all that, but
you'd have to go back.
At the end of the day, you play a dinosaur game for the dinosaurs, and I think that's where Ark Survival Evolved.
People are
really
gonna
failed.
think at this point that we have some kind of unhealthy obsession with dinosaurs.
Everyone loves dinosaurs, Kaiser.
Yeah, but some people love dinosaurs more than others.
Oh God, no! Not like that. Jeez. But yeah, so that was kind of like the progression. And then today's survival game, one that is currently trending, is very popular, arguably has the worst graphics.
The graphics are pretty shit. But Minecraft proves they don't need to be great.
Well, exactly. That's one of the points I'm going to make in a second. Valheim, currently what everyone is playing, came out in February, so this month. Yeah, so you load in, and one of the first things you notice, awful fucking graphics. But, you know what? I kind of love the awful graphics, because it means they spent a little bit of time making the graphics, and the rest of the time making the fucking game. Which is what we've been after for I just maxed out the mic. So long.
It's but that's something that people should tell EA.
Right? Like, this is one of the topics we've brought up so many times, is that corporations are making these beautiful, beautiful games, and then you get things... I was going to say Mass Effect Andromeda, but that also looked pretty fucking ugly. Where the story or something else, some core element, is completely neglected. No, they kept things simple, and they put the berries on paper. Go on.
You mentioned Mass Effect, and I know I've mentioned Mass Effect in the podcast before, but the original Mass Effect trilogy, it's a sci-fi third-person shooter single-player game, for those that don't know, and it has some of the most brilliant video game writing that I've ever seen. Most brilliant writing in general, like character writing. And then they came out with the fourth game that was set in a whole new universe with a new cast of characters, and the writing was abysmal.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what you're saying there, you're right. That's something I think more video games... Well, Hades is a perfect example. I've been playing the shit out of that game. Yeah. And, again, the graphics aren't anything special. It looks nice. Don't get me wrong. They got it to look nice. But then the writing and the gameplay is what really carries it, and that's...
Yeah. That's where the thought went into.
Yeah.
So, the beginning of Valheim is very easy. I'd say pretty much anyone can play it. This is like we were saying earlier with Minecraft. If you want to have a real challenge in Minecraft, yeah, you can go and do the Nether, and you can do the End. That's for people who want to do it. If people just want to sit around and like build structures, also a very valid option. Exactly.
I have a ranch.
So it's the same thing with Valheim. Like the first, 5 hours of it, shall we say, are very chill. You don't really get attacked until like day 25 or something. At least that's what I noticed.
I mean, I got attacked the first night we played it.
What, Valheim?
Yeah.
No, I mean, they don't actually come to your base. Like, enemies will not spawn near your base until day 25.
I thought they did. I mean, I wouldn't have engaged them otherwise.
I mean, in the middle of the night, if you start going towards the Black Forest, then...
Alright.
Well, our base was actually quite close to Black Forest.
Let's not get, caught up on details, but go on.
They, unlike in, Ark Survival Evolved, for example, if you had a lump of meat, it would go off, and it would go bad, and it would go rotten, and you can't eat it, right? They aren't as anal about things like that in this game. So, if you have raw meat just sitting in your inventory, or cooked meat just sitting in your inventory, it doesn't go off, which is just a godsend, because I know it sounds like a trivial thing, but having just a reserve of foods, you don't have to keep constantly thinking or worrying about food.
Some people
you're not going on there to worry about your diet. You're going on there to play a goddamn game. Well, and I think they've got that right.
I think some people are looking to have this very super realistic, kind of simulator. But if that's not exactly conducive to fun.
Yeah, and I think they give you challenge in other ways that isn't just mundane tasks. What I will say about the bloody meat, alright, is that cooking fires, so you need to keep a fire near your bed, because otherwise you can't sleep at night.
Alright, hold up. I think there's a point of clarification that's needed for the audience. Was the meat actually bloody, or were you just being British?
I was being British.
Okay, go on.
You need to have a fire near a bed to be able to sleep. Which is, alright, fine, that's cool. If you put a fire in your house, you will die of smoke inhalation. Right? You don't have to worry about it burning down the house. It can't catch fire. But you will die of a fucking smoke inhalation. That being said, if you put the fire just outside of your house, if it's raining, the fire goes out and you can't sleep. So, you have to make this, like, contraption thing, either inside or outside of your house, where it lets out the smoke without letting the rain in. And that is really, really annoying.
What you've discovered is the technology of a teepee.
Well, kind of, yeah, but if you... Okay, so let's say you have, like, floorboards as your roof, so, like, a flat ceiling, right?
Yeah.
Floorboards don't stop rain.
What?
You have to have specifically a thatched roof over the fire in order to stop rain getting through and putting out the fire.
I love these, like...
This is like... I spent hours trying to fucking sort my base out because of this shit.
I love that's... That, like, buggy nature of, like, an initial, like, game.
Yeah.
Even though the floors are solid, they can't stop rain.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, okay, the building in that game, it's not very smooth. Currently.
Yeah.
I really hope they're going to do something with that, because at the moment, the, like, you know how you get magnetically attaching, like, parts?
Yeah.
Doesn't work properly. So I hope they patch that in the future. The difficulty spike really starts when you leave the first island. So you're a Viking, by the way. The game's all about being a Viking and getting, like, acceptance into Valhalla. So you're in this, like, mid-realm. And...
Yeah. Midgard.
Yeah, once you leave the first island, you go on and... there's going to be spoilers ahead, by the way.
I didn't even know the game had a story.
The islands... Yeah, so there's, like, 5 bosses, like, world bosses you have to defeat in order to gain worth.
Yeah.
The first boss is generally on the island you start on. But once you leave that island, the biomes, there's, say, like, the type of, like, jungle, for example, or swamp that you encounter when you've left the initial island are so much more difficult. The toughest enemy you'll fight on the starting island is a troll. And don't get me wrong, they're scary. They're, like, 5 times the size of a man, and they can two-shot you if you're not careful. But there is, as you heard from me swearing profusely yesterday, Kaiser, there is a blob of green goo. Literally, it's called enemy blob, because they haven't even got a proper name for it yet. In parentheses, in the swamp biome, which will not instantly, but it will poison me once, and it will take off 100 health. Now, most of the time, I have about 80 health at any time. So if we get hit once, and then slowly watch my health drain, is gutting. And yeah, the difficulty is just so much higher when you get to these places. And the same with Drogas, another enemy that spawns in the swamp.
So they really do have, they have the whole Norse mythology thing going on. You know, trolls,
absolutely.
Draugrs, Midgard, like...
Yeah. Do you know what Drogas are? Do you want to explain that?
Well, I mean, so they're, I mean, I can explain what they are. They're in Skyrim, too.
They are.
They're essentially just, like, restless dead in Norse mythology.
Mm.
Essentially, they, they're, Think Norse zombies.
Yeah. They've got, like, bits of patchwork armor on, they've got axes. They start, like, shambling towards you through a swamp, right? So, they got quite a bit of health, but they're not the worst. So you kill them, and they drop their entrails, right? I'm sorry if that's too graphic for anyone, but it's going to get worse. The entrails, you pick them up, and whenever you pick up an item in the game, it shows you all the recipes you can make with that item. So I pick up this dead zombie's entrails, like its guts, basically. And it says, "Bing, you have a new recipe. You can make sausages now." Who the fuck wants to eat sausages out of the stomach of a freaking long dead zombie? Oh my word. That being said, it's one of the most nutritious foods in the game, so you don't have much of a choice.
I guarantee you there's some fucking hippie out there who's like, yeah, drink mud, eat crickets, bite zombies.
Well, I would actually be interested in someone playing this game in, like, a speed run, but that is, like, a vegan-only mode.
Oh, God.
Where they can only eat berries or carrots. That'd be quite interesting.
Well, we've talked about speed runs before, and yeah, that would be, they add those particular criteria.
That'd be a fun challenge, yeah. And the last couple things. So the world bosses I talked about. Every time you defeat a world boss, you get, like, a special power, right? And you can only have one of these powers activated at once. So, the first boss you fight is this big deer, which is, like, kind of metallic, and it has these, like, electric horns, right? Very easy boss, I'm not gonna lie. First time we fought it, we were so over-equipped that it just ate a massive pile of poop. And yeah, it went down real easy. And that gave us the ability to have... for 5 minutes every 20 minutes, we could run for an extra 50% longer. Which is great, because you do a lot of running around in that game. The second boss, significantly harder, like very, very hard. I went in tool to the nines, and I almost got my ass kicked by a single attack that they did.
Because you went in like a tool.
Good.
It's because you went in like a tool.
And when I went back to do it with Mass and Scott and Nick, I was kind of ready for it. I prepped. I feel like they weren't. They probably thought it was going to be as easy as the first boss. Despite I didn't spoil anything for them, but I gave them kind of vague warnings.
Yeah.
All three of them died at one point or another during that fight. And the boss smashed the portal to get to the island, so I had to rebuild the portal mid-fight with him.
Jesus Christ. So they could get back, right?
Yeah, so they could get back and continue fighting. And his special ability, every so often, well, much like with the first one, it's like 5 minutes every 20 minutes, you can cut wood twice as fast.
I will say that... I mean, sorry, is there any final bits of the description, or...?
Oh, I was just going to say, it's not the full version yet, so I'm not sure if it's entirely worth the, what is it, like $20?
It's $20,
it costs. Yeah. But if it keeps going the way it is now, it will be definitely worth that money.
Yeah, so I probably stopped playing it, because I only played about, 2 hours of it, maybe 3 hours. And from what I saw when I played it, it was just, this is just... 7 Days to Die, but Vikings. And it just... We've played so many of these survival, crafting games that I'm just, I'm sick to death of them, because if I want to scratch that itch, I'm just gonna play Minecraft, because that's the one that I know is good. But... so many of them have just been Ark Survival Evolved. It's Minecraft, but dinosaurs. 7 Days to Die. It's Minecraft, but more zombies. The Forest. It's Minecraft, but tribalism. This one, it's just it's Minecraft, but Vikings. It just... It feels like it's aping on a trend that's 10 years old. But having heard your description of it now and all of the other little bits, the fact that there is a story, there are more things for you to do in the game... Maybe I'll give it another chance. But just from my initial first impression, I remember I quit because I was sitting there and we're building a house or whatever, and you guys were having a blast, and I'm over there whacking a rock or a tree and gathering wood, and I'm like, I have done this so many thousands of times in so many different games. What is wrong with my life? And I was like, all right, I'm going to eat dinner. Bye, guys.
I mean, granted, but I think there's definitely levels to it, right? So, I would say, as a survival game, yeah, they all have similarities, right?
Yeah.
But I'd say the similarities between survival games is not nearly as close as the similarities between battle royales. That's why I can't play them. That's one of the reasons I can't play them. Because they're just so fucking samey. With exception to Blazing Sails, actually, because
I was gonna say because they took a fairly unique take on the concept with that one.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even really call that a battle royale because I mean, there's like 4 teams.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the 2 battle royales I've probably put the most time in, and that's PUBG and Apex Legends. By the way, I feel like I should always clarify because we know about these things, but battle royale games are typically some kind of a game like you start off in some kind of a massive arena of some kind. There's a certain number of players on the map, usually in teams, and
Normally about 100.
What?
Normally about 100. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. What's not in Apex? That's why I said usually. Just a number of players. And the map will slowly get smaller over the course of the game, and the last team standing wins. That's all it is. So, PUBG, probably one of the first games to really popularize this. You get dropped on an island out of a plane, and you have to scrounge for weapons and equipment, and then, fight your way. You have a 4-person team, depending on the game mode. The other one I've put a lot of time in is Apex Legends, and I feel like they're sort of the same in concept, but the way they execute it is entirely different. Like in PUBG, it's very much a realistic kind of shooter, for the most part. You can get vehicles, realistic weapons, and despite the fact that you can deflect a sniper bullet with a pan strapped to your ass, like it tries to go for the more realistic shooter, quote unquote, profile. But Apex Legends is the opposite. It's like everyone has powers. You could be a goofy robot. You can fire zip lines. You can play a robot that fires a fucking Hadouken magic rainbow ball. Like, it goes much more for the class-based like power thing. Like it's the Overwatch of battle royale games.
Yeah, and I think if I were ever to go back to any battle royale, I think my favorite by far has been PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, because admittedly you do spend like a lot of time building up gear for a 2-minute fight, if that.
Yeah.
But there's some really cool, just like in the moment things during that game. Like, I don't know if you remember when the desert map first came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was when you coined the phrase throwing a hot dog down a hallway or something. When we were like in a minivan trying to squeeze a minivan through a small chapel.
Yes, there was a tiny door. So you can get one of those old VW vans it was red. It looked like a fucking hot dog, and we're trying to squeeze it through a door to a building.
And like the motorbikes in that was amazing. And there was one where we were like in an old abandoned town, and we had these lever action Winchesters. Yeah, it felt like an actual cowboy film kind of thing.
Well, I do. There were a lot of fun moments in that game. It's the reason we clocked in so many hours. In 27, like I think within the course of a few months, we clocked over like 300 hours in the game at least. I still remember. There's a video on my YouTube channel of the that stupid match that match that I won with just driving around in a car. Like, I got this shitty sedan that I won the game just driving around in the damn thing. I never got out, never used a gun. I just ran people over the whole time.
There was so much you could do, and it had a kind of veneer on it because it wasn't all new flashy. Like, a lot of games these days are all like mech suits and plastic weapons and skins and shiny things that can attract the eye.
It had a very gritty appearance, and it had a very unpolished feel as a video game, and I think that contributed to its success.
Absolutely. It was kind of a breath of fresh air from the rest of the games in the pool at the time, and still to this day, really. But with the massive, popularity of Fortnite, which is a game that I would consider A, to be shiny, B, to be plasticky, etc., it does just grab a massive chunk of the player base, and so PlayerUnknown's Battleground had to add bots to their game, and now it's become not nearly as fun, apparently.
Yeah, well, now you have to fight the Terminator every match.
Yeah. Have you seen the Viva La Dirt League thing?
The what?
Viva La Dirt League? They did, like, a sketch where like a Terminator walks out and then fires like 1,000,000 bullets and doesn't hit a single one because it's a bot.
I think you've sent me this video before. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I do. I think part of what you're talking about might be nostalgia goggles because I don't know. I think we went back and played it like a year or so ago. Like you, me, Adam, and maybe Yi, and we were on that new map, the tiny one with less vehicles.
Oh, I don't think the new map was as good.
They're not.
It's like marshland, and who the fuck wants marshland?
Well, I think one of the things it took out was the vehicles, and the vehicles were one of the most fun things. Half the videos.
Oh, that was a snow map.
Half the videos on my YouTube channel from back in the PUBG days were like us fucking up on vehicles. I think I have one of you like drunkenly shouting at me while you flipped over on a motorcycle.
Yeah, that was like the first one we ever did, I think.
Yeah, one of the And then there was the French guy. You got the backpack. Your backpack.
You German?
God damn it! I was drinking tea.
Sorry, yeah, that was one of the best videos we made. The you German. Holy fuck! That
just
cracked
to
me up so
describe
hard.
to give the backstory to this because I don't want to just reference the video and not actually explain to
sorry,
people listening. So one of the old PUBG. This was when I first started making like YouTube videos just for fun. One of them was a game we were playing, and we had a 3-person squad, and so we got a 4th person as a random added to our team, and there's voice chat in the game. And, you know, a backpack is one of the first things that you want to pick up because it allows you to pick up more equipment and store more grenades and ammo and whatnot. And the guy, clearly, he had a fairly thick accent. And I think it was French, but the guy goes...
it was kind of Eastern European, I thought. But...
Maybe, yeah, that's true. Maybe Eastern European. But we were speculating about it in our private call and not talking about it in-game. And because he's like, oh, you have a backpack? You know what a backpack?
Yeah. Me and Kaiser were like debating what language
the accent was.
Just the 2 of us.
And then Adam, our friend Adam, just in the all chat goes like, "Are you German?" I didn't even hear his response. We were
right. We didn't hear it because we'd all cracked up laughing so hard. We asked him twice and we still didn't know what the fucking answer was.
Oh my god! But I think that's my point. Is like. This also ties back into the survival crafting games. The ones that really last and the ones that you keep playing over and over again, they have to have that kind of like that indescribable little piece of magic that makes you just like the game is there, and when you play it, you just you have these awesome moments that keep you coming back. And I think that's PUBG did that. Minecraft's done that. Apex has done that a good amount for me too.
Yeah, and not to make it too emo or anything, but it was actually a survival game that I met Kaiser in. So.
Oh shit, that's true.
Yeah, there's they can also be quite good to meet other people.
That's right. Video
meet
games.
Assholes, but
Video games is modern day networking.
It is.
Sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
No, I was just going to say, you get plenty of people that you won't like in those games, but then you'll also occasionally find people that you do.
Yeah, it's...
I'm still waiting to find one of those people, but
Actually, I'm going to... One final thought before we kind of close out the segment.
Go for it.
This is... I mean, I met Scott and Adam through playing Halo, and one of the things that I found tragic with Xbox Live multiplayer is when they added the private party system. So where you could go into a private call while you're playing in a game. It made sense why they did it, but I feel like it really, really hampered the...
Yeah, it made sense tactically, but socially it was bad.
Well, right, but the thing is, like, most of the time, like, even if I'm playing by myself and I've got a team of 4 random people, say I'm playing Halo, 4v4, I could be in a private call with one of my other friends and not even hear a word that my team is saying, right? Yeah. So I feel like, and a lot of people did that, so you'd end up with what is essentially just a bot on the team because you can't communicate with them. And I understand that people want to be able to talk to each other, like talk to their friends, and they maybe don't want to deal with random people. I just feel like adding that destroyed the whole community feel, because like meeting people on PUBG, right? on Halo, that's how I met a lot of friends on there. People who I still know and talk to this day. But
Yeah.
Or maybe this is just me getting old. Maybe a little column A, little column B.
Oh dear. Anyway, yes, let's
let's end it
we
there.
Have a
This has been a very
treat
this has been a very
2.
heavy gaming segment.
Yeah. Well, we've got to get it in somewhere because we're not going to be able to talk about gaming in segment 2 or 3.
Well, that's true. Yeah, segment 2, media. We've got some media to talk about. Segment 3 is quiz time. I get to quiz you.
They're both going to be treats because for segment 2 we got a little special secret for this week.
Oh god.
And also, of course, Kaiser will be quizzing all over me for segment 3.
You just made me feel very uncomfortable.
Good.
Alright, this is going to be the end of segment 1 of the TMCJ podcast. Thank you for listening, and you will hear us again momentarily. Welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. It has been an hour and a half since we recorded the first segment because holy fuckamole did we just watch the most fucking amazing movie ever.
Yep, oh boy was it fucking... I mean, we went into it knowing that it would be batshit, and it's achieved our expectations and more.
So... Blue told me about this movie like a week or so ago, and I completely forgot.
No, it was a couple days.
It was a couple days ago. Okay, well, it was during work. Yeah. I, just kind of blanked it out.
Yeah, that's fine.
But, so, he told me about it, told me to watch the trailer. I never did. But I'm so glad that we ended up watching it, because so, first of all, the premise, if you know the game Five Nights at Freddy's...
I haven't even said the name of it yet.
Oh, sorry, it's Willy's Wonderland.
Yep.
Willy's Wonderland. If you know the game Five Nights at Freddy's, basically, or if you don't, it's a very simplistic jump scare horror game. It was basically made for YouTubers to jump and go, ah, while they were playing it. But it's... they took that premise of these animatronic figures from like a Chuck E. Cheese knockoff coming to life and murdering people, which was the point of that game. And then stuck Nic Cage in it and had him beat the ever-loving shit out of them. So, quick synopsis of the movie, and I'm just going to spoil the shit out of it, because even if you know what happens in this movie, it is still worth watching.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, it's like watching Transformers. You don't need a fucking plot there. You just want to see robots beaten up.
Yeah. So, you've got Nicolas Cage starring in the movie. Already, I'm in. He gets his tires blown out as he's driving into a town and picked up by a very chatty tow truck guy. He needs to get his tires repaired, doesn't have cash, doesn't have an ATM, so he gets a deal to clean up this this old abandoned like Chuck E. Cheese like knockoff called Willy's Wonderland. And they lock him inside, and it's very clear that something nefarious is going on. But he's told by the guy that owns it, you clean the place up, you get it nice and looking nice for me, ready to open, and I'll pay for your car repairs, and your car will be out here ready for you the next day. Now, the secret bit of this is that, while he's in there, the animatronic figures come to life and try to eat him. He's basically in there as a human sacrifice. But... the first one that tries to eat him, he, breaks a mop in half and just beats the ever-loving shit out of it. And then just puts it in a trash bag casually, cleans up, changes his shirt, and goes back to cleaning the fucking restaurant.
Yeah, also you're forgetting all of the advertisement, Kaiser.
What?
The drink?
Oh, yeah. Every time he takes a break, he's chugging what I initially thought were beers, but it very clearly says pop on the side of the can, that being a Midwestern term for soda.
It's a punch energy drink, and I just looked it up, and I don't think it's a real thing, so it's like they're putting in a fake advert as just like a joke. Yeah, because it's like he shows the label very conspicuously every time he drinks it. Yeah. And it just becomes like a running joke throughout the movie. Parallel to this,
There is a what I called in my notes a retarded Scooby gang. It's just a bunch of these kids who know the place is evil, and they're trying to kill it. They're being led by this one chick who has a traumatic past with the place and decides it needs to go. And I just have to read off my nicknames for these people because I think they describe them perfectly. So we have the leader chick, who I actually didn't name, which is appropriate because she actually lived. Spoiler alert. So we have the lock-picking hooker, the ghetto kid, the dumb white dude, the whiny bitch, and Specs.
Hang on, whoa. Time out. Did you call the lock-picking hooker, like, the lock-picking lawyer, but hooker?
Well, that wasn't... It
was that what you were going for?
No, that wasn't intentional. I was like, she's dressing like a hooker, and she's picking locks. I thought that it was just appropriate. It was very literal.
Okay, God, yeah.
The whiny dude and the white guy just pissed me off. Like, the white guy was just like, "Oh, I just want to be a hero so bad."
Yeah,
he was basically
pissed me off less than the whiny guy. The whiny guy, he's like terrified of going in there, and then he decides, "I know, we're in the middle of a place that we know people have been murdered in. We know that there's still animatronics running around murdering people.
Yeah,
we know that the room we're currently standing in is where they all committed
murder, and he's
forever sleep. And we also know that the machines run around killing people. So when he sees the machine in the room and he's still effing and jeffing,
I mean,
then what the fuck's he doing?
I mean, so first of all, I think they were going for a very like B horror movie kind of feel where.
Oh, yeah.
Like, basically, it was just... You're supposed to, as the audience, scream, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. And at the same time, it's like, ooh, sex.
That being said... So, let me finish the plot synopsis, and then we go deeper. So, basically, they, in the middle of the night, go back there because they realize Nicolas Cage has been placed inside this place as a sacrifice. And so they try to break in to save him and get him out of there because they know the secret history and it's immoral and all that sort of stuff. Long story short, they get in there and they make absolute asses of themselves because they're just like they're the stereotypical like activist teenagers. Like they think they can change the world and do all these amazing things just by the power of friendship and determination, and they just get their asses kicked. So that happens. They get inside, and Nic Cage just won't even listen to him. He won't even talk. Actually, Nic Cage doesn't say a single word for the entire movie. He just looks badass and stays completely silent. And so he just continues to clean the place while the rest of them are like, the girl's trying to convince him to leave, and the other ones are basically running around getting slaughtered. The hooker and the ghetto guy, they're apparently a couple. And they actually had some of my favorite lines from the Scooby Gang. Also, the ghetto guy was the only one that actually fought back besides the leader chick.
Did he?
Yeah. When the no. So he couldn't get up and fight back because the other chick was banging him at the same time. But no, when the alligator bit him, he starts like pounding the thing in the face with his other hand.
Oh.
Like he still dies, but like he was the only one that fought. I liked that guy. Like, he was also the only voice of reason. Like, why are we even here? Let's get the fuck out of here.
I don't know, I kind of put him down as a coward.
Really?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, he had a very, like, blunt practicality. Because they were in over their heads, that's true. It was supernatural shit, and tons of other people had died. So, weighing up the pros and cons, he was right. Let's get the fuck out of here. And Nic Cage would have been
stopped the girl going in the first place. Like, he was more concerned about other people looking up his girlfriend's skirt than a girl going in to die.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's true, but I mean...
And then he didn't go in after her, which means he's a pussy, as far as I'm concerned.
No, he did go in after her.
No, he didn't. He got pushed through the roof.
Oh, yeah. He was ready to leave. But, again, that's what I mean when I say blunt practicality. Like, he, Oh, what am I trying to say? Like, the first girl went in, and, it's like, all right, it's your funeral, she's going to let us in. And then when they're all like, let's go in after her, He's like, no, fuck this. We've lost one person. We've lost this guy. I don't know this guy. He wanted to get out of there with his girlfriend, but she was like, no, she decided to climb up on her own, and rather than leave her behind and get out of there himself, he followed her up reluctantly. And the only reason they all fell in was because of the dumbass white dude who like tackled him to the ground.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm still kind of on the white dudes. Anyway,
so just to wrap up the summary, because there isn't much left, through a contrived series of events, most of the Scooby Gang, except for the leader chick, die. And her, like, there's a point in the movie, where, like, she is trying her best to, like, fight off the lizard thing. She's stabbing it and everything. Then Nic Cage comes in and just beats the ever-loving shit out of it. And she's just standing there looking confused. I laughed so hard just at her facial expression in that scene.
Yeah?
Anyway, so the whole movie wraps up with, Nic Cage. He manages not only to survive the night, he kills all of the animatronic figures, manages to get the place looking spick and span and nice and clean and everything. He gets his car back to the bewildered looks of the people who locked him in there, and takes off with the girl. And that's pretty much the movie. There's a pointless. I honestly, there's a pointless scene at the end where the people who locked him in there get blown up. I didn't think Well, I'll wait to get into that. But I honestly had a lot more sympathy with the townsfolk, because, like, they were doing what they had to do. They were trying to survive, and they did some fucked up shit to survive.
Are we good to go?
Yeah. Sorry, go on. That's the whole plot synopsis. Nic Cage drives off into the sunset like a badass with his new, girl.
Daughter.
Is it a daughter? It didn't seem like a father-daughter kind of relationship.
It surely is not a partner, because that age difference is way too big.
Maybe.
Way too big. Anyway, so no, I think the townsfolk are wankers, and frankly, they had an armed contingent police force. They could have just gone in there at any time and blown the fucking animatronics' heads off.
Yeah, I will say, I don't know why the shotgun was never used.
Right? If Nic Cage can just... these things are about the same... consistent, whatever, the resistance level as a normal human, right? If Nic Cage can, crush its head off with his thighs, right?
That did happen.
Yes, you heard me right.
There is a scene where Nic Cage crushes an animatronic fairy with his thighs.
Yeah. Then they can absolutely walk in there with a single, shotgun, bam, 8 shots.
I will say...
They're even lined up for them. Go on.
The logic doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but the way they explained it, that, these townsfolk were terrified, it was killing, their friends and family, and kids and everything, and they were just
exactly!
Well, I know the strong, moral, upstanding thing to do would be to just go in there with an armed contingent and blow it apart. But, I don't know. You need to have the because people are gonna die doing that.
Yeah, but it'd been going on for 20 years.
Honestly, this was set in rural America. They could have just, asked a couple of the locals. I'm sure a couple of them would have had M60s. You could have just taken the place out.
I mean, yeah, even when the sheriff walks in, she's like, "Oh my god, he killed 6 of them."
Yeah, she
we
should
better
have
lock him up.
Exactly. I was confused by that. I thought that it was going to be oh, he's killed 6 of them. Now we should team up and we might actually have a chance.
On the drive over, she was all "Oh, I've done this terrible thing, this horrible, horrible event. Let's keep doing it."
I mean,
What?
there is a bit of inconsistent writing, but I mean, to be fair, what this movie is about is let's watch Nic Cage beat the shit out of the animatronic figures.
It is. I mean, there's no real, like... The plot is, of course, going to be fucking bizarre as all heck. It's just a really good, like, beat 'em up, really.
There's a few things that I wrote down, like, watching the movie. Oh, yeah. So, just a couple of the things that I jotted down, like, while I was watching it that I wanted to remember saying. One, I thought it was hilarious that they did a montage of Nicolas Cage being a janitor. Like, it's literally just a sped-up thing of him cleaning a bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, nothing else is happening in that scene.
When that was happening, I was like, hang on, no, you can't just wipe away rust like that. That's not realistic. I literally was like, dubious of this cleaning method. I've played enough train renovation simulator to know that you can't just wipe that shit away.
So, there was that. And then I was like, when the girl was explaining to Nic Cage, like, what had happened in the town.
Yeah, the ritual and all that.
Yeah. What I wrote down was, like, she sounds like a really bored dungeon master. Like, cause she delivered it in such a bland monotone.
Oh, and they even did the Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the whole thing. The animatronic figures there's a whole conspiracy that I glossed over because honestly, it's really not that important. The whole reason the animatronic figures have come to life is because like a mass murdering satanic cult did a Kool-Aid suicide and then merged their spirits with the animatronic figures. You know, I loved the choice of the song at the end of the movie.
What was it?
They chose it's Freebird. Like as he's going out of there, the line at the beginning of the song is if I leave here tomorrow, and that's the whole like he left the next day.
No, I did catch that actually.
Yeah, it was a very good musical choice for the end of it.
And there was a lot of what's the word? I'm trying to find a word and I can't find it. Waffle.
Okay, so speaking of the interactions, there were a couple moments where, like, you really got the impression that everyone else was afraid of these things, and that they were a legitimate threat to everyone else in the movie.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Except for Nicolas Cage.
So, I'm not very good with horror films. I don't think Kaiser is particularly either.
I don't mind, like, I said this previously. I don't like jump scares. I think they're lazy. But, like, normal horror films with, like, supernatural shit, I'm fine with them. They don't do anything to me. They don't elicit any feelings. The ones that get me are psychological horror. The ones that get inside my head.
Well, what I was going to get at was, like, I was not on the edge of my seat at any point. Like, okay, I was on the edge of my seat wanting to see the action, but I was never like, oh no, they could get killed right now.
Yeah, I think
in fact, if anything, at one point I was slightly like, is Nicolas Cage going to kill all the kids? I was genuinely like, is he the actual, like, serial killer in all this? Is he, like... Is that the twist?
I still just love that he spent the entire movie and he didn't say a fucking word.
He did grunt a lot, though.
He did. That was the only, audible noises that he made. He also did his little dance when he wanted the pinball game.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
That was fucking amazing.
It's a lot like an alien trying to be a human.
Well, you've just described Nicolas Cage.
That's what. Yeah, I mean, his acting in this.
I'm kind of. I should clarify that Nicolas Cage has been one of my favorite actors for a long time, and not because he's necessarily a great actor. It's just because he's a very entertaining actor. There are movies he's been really good in, and there are movies he's been just horrendous in, and no matter how he acts, it's always hilarious to watch, or at least very entertaining.
He's great at being Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas
Cage.
No
one can replicate that.
There's a website called like everyoneisnickcage.com or something like that. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but they basically Photoshop Nic Cage's face on like everything. There's one of him photoshopped on the box for Girl Scout cookies. So it's like this little girl's body with Nic Cage's face.
Oh man,
Nick, he's been a bit of a meme and something I've found entertaining ever since I was in high school, like 15 years ago.
How much does he get paid? Like, is he? So obviously, most of the people in that movie are going to get paid like jack shit because they're not big actors.
He's probably going to get a lot, but the thing is, like, it became a joke a long time ago that Nic Cage just will act in any movie he can.
Exactly.
There's a reason for it, though. He actually did a lot of real estate investing back in the early 2000s, and it all went south. So he ended up millions of dollars in debt, and so he started just doing any movie he could find to try and like get out of it.
And he found his niche.
Yeah, exactly. And ironically, that's what like made him a meme, which has kept him famous.
That's what makes the movies he's in popular, I think. Because I mean, we wouldn't have watched this today if it wasn't for Nic Cage in it.
That's true. That is actually true.
So, I don't know, how do they pay him a lot or not? Because obviously, no one else is getting paid much.
Yeah, because the other actors were just like fairly niche people.
Yeah, I'd never seen them before. Anyway.
I thought I recognized the main chick, but I was thinking of somebody. There's just somebody else who looks very similar to her in a TV show I watched. I tried looking it up.
But also, I mean, it's great for them because they're like, I was in a film with Nicolas Cage.
Well, I mean, honestly, yeah. You can tell that they're all going to get a lot of attention out of that.
Yeah. Holy fuck. But no, great movie. And it didn't drag on too long either. I think an hour and a half, because we've been watching a lot of films which are like 2+ hours.
Yeah.
And
it was an hour and a half,
and refreshing.
Yeah, there was no time that was wasted. There was no moment where I'm like, all right, they're gonna do this for about 15. Like the fight scenes were visceral and quick.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. They weren't too quick. Like they didn't cut away every like 2 fights to a different scene.
Well, but that's kind of what I mean. So like I'm gonna use the fight with the knight as an example, right?
Okay.
So, the whiny bitch gets shanked in the chest, and then he dies. And then the other people run away, and then the girl is, like, dodging around. And then Nicolas Cage comes off break, and then he beats the shit out of the knight while she looks confused. And that's the whole scene. Yeah. Like, it was exactly the length it needed to be. Like, for as silly and goofy as this movie was, it showed a remarkable degree of skill in the way that they actually wrote it and presented it.
Oh, so for a quick, like within Synopsis, there were 8 animatronics. The first one was an ostrich, beaten to death with a broom handle.
Yeah. Oh, and Nic Cage pulled its animatronic spine out of its throat.
It did. Next was a big, like, cuddly monkey that attacked him in the toilet, which he
curb stomped into a urinal.
Thank you. Third one was it the knight?
I think the third one was the knight. Yeah.
Yeah. So third, the knight gone. You gonna?
Oh, so there was one that the girl fought before that, but she didn't kill it. That was the fairy.
Yeah, but I'll leave that until last because it's the last one to die.
That is the last one to die.
So the knight was decapitated with his own sword by the Cage, of course. They're all killed by the Cage, but whatever. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, while I was watching the movie, I honestly thought they were gonna throw a bone either to the sheriff or to the girl and have one of them kill one of them. But no, Nic Cage kills all of them. And what was the line from the girl? It's like, you don't understand. He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him.
Yep. The fourth one was the lizard woman. Strangled by Cage, smashed into arcade machines, and then he just like punched her lights out in the end, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, and the fairy, he does. I'll let you you talk about it later. But the fairy is the one he crushes with his thighs.
Yeah. So then he like sits on the fucking fairy, and he has his hands cuffed behind his back. That's
I should clarify. It's an actual fairy. We're not using any derogatory language.
I don't think anyone probably were. It's like a Tinkerbell-esque
Yeah, like a
character.
Tinkerbell character. You never know these days.
And, yeah, so he like, crushes her, I would say windpipe, but she's a machine.
Yeah.
Anyway, she doesn't quite die from that, and she ends up, like, blowing herself up at the end of the film.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. But yeah, so...
so that's the fifth one, right?
Yeah.
So the sixth one is the turtle.
Right. So...
The turtle... Go on.
Well, okay. No, finish. He technically is the last one to die.
True, but he okay. He goes out, he leaves the place, and he tries to kill the cop and
the girl,
the little girl.
He
just
it's
gets
weird calling her a little
like,
girl. She's like 20 something.
Well, yeah, but smallest girl then.
Yeah, younger than Nic Cage.
Yes, significantly. And she just beats the crap out of him with the butt of a shotgun, which isn't loaded, and somehow the animatronic was able to unload the shotgun with those giant fucking hands.
Yeah.
And anyway, yeah. So
I should clarify that when he says she beat him with the shotgun, she literally like slams him in the nuts with the butt of the gun.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that it talked so much. Really, like they were trying to go for something a bit more funny, and I kind of didn't need.
It lessens the threat level when they talk too much. I think.
It's like she finally fucking killed one, and it seemed like the most pansy ass one. Like,
well, I mean, that's probably why she was the one that she was able to beat it.
So that was what, number 6. So there's 2 more.
Yeah,
there was. The crocodile. Fuck, I forgot about the crocodile.
Yeah.
How does Nic Cage kill the crocodile?
So when they go in the room and find him like over the bodies of the hooker and the ghetto kid, they like he's like over the bodies and Nic Cage is getting ready to fight him, and then it's like, oh, it's break time, and so he hands the knife to the girl and leaves.
Oh yeah.
And then eventually he comes back.
No.
Oh no, you're right. I'm thinking of the lizard. Yeah, no. So in that room, the crocodile, he rips his head in half.
Oh yeah, fuck! He grabs his fucking jaws and like yanks for that image.
rips his head in half and then like pulls his larynx out through his mouth.
Yeah, and then finally it was the weasel, which I can't remember. Willy the Weasel, that's the one.
Yeah, Willy the Weasel.
He just he gets beaten by the weasel at first because the weasel seems to have like telekinetic powers.
Yeah.
But then the weasel stops using the telekinetic powers, lets him get his cans of punch energy drink.
Well, what it is the weasel knocks him into the ball pit and assumes he's dead.
Yeah, but then why doesn't he eat him?
Because he's in the ball pit. I don't know.
So anyway, Nic Cage comes back with a bag full of energy drinks and the 2 broomstick parts that he's taped together. And is somehow able to block the very sharp metal claws that are able to cut a lady in 2 with the wooden broomstick, whilst simultaneously beating the crap out of the weasel with a bag, a burlap sack of like energy drinks.
It was so good. But that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Nic Cage is the only one who's immune to the damage.
I mean, yeah, he does take like 10 or 12 like massive claw scratches.
Yeah.
And just don't phase him.
Wait, every time he gets a wound, he just duct tapes it.
I don't think he duct taped himself after that. Cause
he
that
didn't.
Was, all over his body.
No, he duct taped himself after the gorilla and after the ostrich.
Yeah, I didn't know why he was duct taping around his like stomach. Also, in that fucking scene with the gorilla when he's going through the toilet stalls.
Yeah.
You can really see the bulk he's got on his stomach. Like, he's put on a little bit of weight.
Yeah. I mean, come on, the guy's like 50-something now.
Yeah, but like, it doesn't help for the movie, I guess.
Well, I think that's kind of the point. Like, he's not supposed to look like some kind of a, like, traditional action hero. He's supposed to just look like some schlubby middle-aged man that for some reason is a fucking badass.
I think they do try and portray him as like a badass, because like...
Well, they do, but it's like he's not supposed to look like he's a badass. Like, he's not supposed to look like super imposing.
He does though. He's got the black leather jacket. He's got the sunglasses. He's got the
Yeah,
the
but what I mean
hair
is like all of that stuff screams midlife crisis. That doesn't scream bad to me. It does. I mean, he's 50 something. He's driving around in a fucking what is it, Camaro. He's got the leather jacket and the facial hair and the fucking wraparound shades. Like that screams midlife crisis to me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So and then he managed to kill the weasel. The one you were referring to earlier, the two people who locked him in, they think that, oh, it's all over, we're finally free, and then the fairy comes back out of the thing and blows herself up by putting a rag in their gas tank. And then there's a turtle who at the very end of the movie is Nic Cage and his new ambiguous lady friend are driving off into the distance. The turtle's in the middle of the road, and Nic Cage just plows him over with his car.
But yes, so that was that movie. There's not really much more to say about it other than,
it was so good.
What's already been said.
I can't believe I'm glad that we ended up watching it today and just gave the thoughts right off the bat, because Jesus, that movie was fucking amazing.
But yes, anyway, moving on to the next film that we watched this week, which was one that you've seen before, and it was your choice for movie night this week.
It was.
I'd not seen it before, but I'd seen a short video of a band had put their music over certain clips from this anime film.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, this is really cool music. I linked it to Kaiser, and Kaiser was like, we gotta watch this film.
Yeah.
So we did.
Sorry, do you wanna talk about it?
Yep. So we've watched the film Red Line. It's all about a group of, I want to say it's like drag racing. Wait, is drag racing the right word?
Drag racing usually is a very short, straight line race.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much was that. But yeah, so these junked up machines, something from Wacky Races, if you've seen that. Where they have nitrous and all this kind of thing, and the machines are barely holding together, but they've got missiles and super mega boosters, and they can go over water. Yeah, go on. Just go.
Yeah. So, so it follows a couple. Mainly, there's one guy named JP who is he's kind of always wanted to be a racer, unlike the other people who have the cars that can do all this crazy shit and have weapons and things. He just has a car that's just fast, and it's got boosters and nitrous and shit. And he's trying to win races, and there's this whole thing about whole side plot about how his mechanic is secretly in with the mob, and they got caught up in fixing races and stuff like that. So if he wins, he can't. They'll
kill him.
Yeah, they'll kill his friend, but if he loses right at the finish line, then he gets a bunch of cash and stuff. But he still wants to get to this big race, and some other people drop out because of where the big race is being held, and he ends up actually getting to go there as a substitute because of his performance. And they managed to get him a new car and everything, but the twist is the big race, the Red Line, is being held on this very hostile, for the sake of YouTube, the bad guys in World War II planet.
Oh.
What did you say?
North Korea.
Oh yeah, that's pretty accurate too. Essentially just a fascist planet, and it's like a hyper-militarized planet. They're like, yeah, if anyone comes here, you try to hold this race here, then we're not going to let you. We'll bring the full force of our military against you. And through a contrived series of events, it happens anyway. And so the final race is held between all of these people, dodging bullets and rockets and airstrikes and all this other.
The universe is clearly so bizarre that it's not. We definitely won't be able to describe it to you very well in this short spans of time.
It's extremely weird and eclectic. It's a very fast-paced movie, and there's clearly a lot of lore that they don't they kind of just breeze past because it's not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is this guy and his dream, and then, you know, his love interest and her dream, and the competition they have with the other racers. That is the core of the movie, and all of this other alien stuff is sort of like, you don't need to know all of the details.
Yeah, they brush over like political and military superpowers, different like nations covering different planets. The suggestion of magic, well, not even the suggestion, the very literal incarnate people using magic.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, a little bit into like the criminal underworld and.
But it's all like close enough to reality that you don't need to know more, but it's just different enough that it looks kind of weird and interesting.
Yeah, you just take everything at face value, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, there's not too much more to say about it. I mean, what like I obviously
it's a very nice art style.
The story is very simple, but yeah, the art, the drawing, beautiful. But give me your thoughts.
Like I said, yes. So the design of it, the look of the whole thing is really what drew me to it initially. If you have epilepsy, don't watch it. It's a lot of flashing images. It reminded me a lot of very old cartoons. The characters were pretty. They had good. They had character, I should say. You did kind of get an idea of the feeling behind different people. Like the mechanic, who's clearly a wise but slightly, you know, when he's had a bit to drink, he wasn't as wise old man.
Yeah.
You don't question why he's got 4 arms.
He's some kind of an alien.
Yeah, they're all just aliens except the main character.
There was quite a bit of that. The even that kind of how we described the plot in the universe, that kind of describes most of the characters. They tell you just enough so you get to know them, and then even the kind of most sidelined of side characters, they actually in a very brief amount of time managed to develop them, because they use archetypes, but I don't know, they use them very well.
Yeah, it kind of looked like what's the word? Like the whole community of DeviantArt, although less furry, I guess, just kind of put all of their characters into one. I mean, mind you, there were dog people everywhere, so I guess maybe not. But
I mean, there were dog people. There were weird aliens that had.
It just felt like there was like 100 different artists who were put into one movie and said, right, just make characters.
So the studio that made this has made a couple other animes, and it's very clear that this is like their style. This kind of over the top like craziness. They also made Gurren Lagann, and I think they also made Kill la Kill.
Yeah, I think you told me that.
But I don't know. Excellent. It is anime, so if you, but even if you don't like anime, as long as you're okay with, you know, kind of a fantastical sci-fi
it's not anime,
kind of
anime. Like, when we say anime, we don't mean like
anime
the generic stuff you get out of Japan at the moment.
Yeah. What I'm saying when I say anime, I mean it is Japanese. It is animated, and it does have a very like. It's very, very high budget anime, and it doesn't fall into the standard like anime tropes.
It's not all big eyes and cutesy people. It's a lot more gritty.
Yes, yeah.
In a good way. It's a refreshing change from the norm.
Oh man. Alright, we have actually been talking for quite a while, and I do want to make sure we have enough time to do your quiz.
Do need to do that indeed. Alright, yes. Do you want to give a quick teaser for what's coming up?
Yes, so we don't... For the last few, we've kind of lucked into months where we had a topic, like the half-year podcast that Blue gave to me. We had the Christmas one, we had the Thanksgiving one, Halloween. But now it's back to me to give Blue a quiz, and I didn't have a theme. And just randomly we were talking about different ideas, and he was like, alcohol. And so, yeah, it's about alcohol. But everything around alcohol. So it's not just like, oh, name this mixed drink or trivia like that. It's like, oh, history and how it interacted with human culture and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not very good at that kind of thing. I'm just not very good at quizzes. I feel like every 2 months, when it's my turn to do a quiz, it's like easy mode for the the listeners, because
oh my god,
it's not a very high bar to pass.
I'm always hesitant when I try to do history type questions, because things that I think are very the Christmas one taught me this. Things that I think are very easy tend to be like, oh, this isn't common knowledge, I just happen to know this. Because...
I mean, it probably is. You know how just like Alicia beats me at fucking pub quizzes all the time.
Oh man. Alright. Well, look forward to that. This is going to be the end of segment 2 of the TMCJ podcast. Thank you for listening, and tune in again
segment 3! Oh, wait,
time?
no, wait, it's not going to be going up separately, is it?
Well, it might be. Who knows?
Okay, well, who knows? See you there.
Alright. And welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are on segment 3, the quiz segment. I've got a stupid thing on my head because Blue insisted on another hat.
You just called Pikachu stupid? How
and I'm
could
taking
you?
this thing off because you called it Logan Paul-esque.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's just the dangly bits.
And now my hair's all fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
But we are back, and in true form, we finally have come full circle, and now this quiz is about alcohol.
Was it ever at the beginning?
Well, no, but one of the premises is that we're drinking this totally not alcoholic
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Apple juice.
Yeah, so I actually wrote it down in a notepad. It's all kinds of professional, this quiz. So I've said
That's right, we can write. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I even have a fancy pen.
Ooh.
So this quiz.
Oh god, I keep reaching for it. Sorry, go.
You can
Talk!
be okay. This quiz, which I mostly pulled from memory. It's stuff about. I tried to get a little bit of history, a little bit of culture in there. It's not just purely about alcohol, but it is alcohol themed. That being said, because it's the end of February, and the only other thing we could have done a quiz on is Black History Month, and I feel like I'm utterly unqualified to make a quiz about that. So, here we go.
Oof.
Are you prepared?
Oh, I'm so ready to drink. I mean, answer questions.
Question number 1. When the whiskey still was originally imported to the UK, well, at the time, I think it was Ireland, what was the still originally invented to make? So it was used for whiskey. It was used to make whiskey, the first whiskeys. But what was
the timer?
I forgot to even put up a timer.
Okay, well, fine. Right.
I just whacked my mic.
I'm gonna say it'll be something medicinal, like I don't know. Okay, so they were putting some kind of food or something in there, surely, if they accidentally made whiskey.
Well, keep in mind, whiskey is made in a still, so it has to be some kind of a fluid.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking of vodka. Oh, fuck. I don't know. Some kind of medicine, maybe?
30 seconds.
Okay. I don't know. Cough medicine. That's what they're trying to make.
It was actually a perfume still. It was imported from
Wow, they
Arabia.
really fucked that up.
It was imported from Arabia, and it was a perfume still that Irish monks figured out how to make whiskey with.
Right. So was the perfume actually did it have an alcoholic base to it?
That I'm not sure of. I don't know a lot of the details. I just know that the first still used to make whiskey was invented in the Middle East, and it was meant to make perfume.
Right. I'm just imagining monks getting like drunk off of sniffing
Drunk as
themselves,
a monk.
I guess. Oh my god. Because I know you can get like blackout drunk just by like standing near wine for long enough. Like enough wine.
Well, yeah, the fumes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
that's you.
1 out of 15 wrong. I assume it's 15.
There are 15, yeah, that's right.
Oh wait, that means I get to drink. Hell yeah.
Alright.
Such terrible defeat.
Let's try... This one might be a little bit of a softball here. Name a variety of rice wine.
What, like soju?
There you go. That's one.
Damn.
I didn't even have to start the timer. Yeah. Oh. The glass is bigger than it looks.
Yeah.
We do a minute, right?
Yeah, we normally do a minute. Unless it's like a specialist question.
Okay. Alright.
Alright.
Let's see. Done that one. Done that one. What was the use of beer by the government of Egypt in ancient Egypt? Like, what was it primarily used for? By the government.
Alright, in ancient Egypt. I know that, like, there was... this is completely disassociated with ancient Egypt, but, like, I know you could, like, drink the fuel from the torpedoes in World War One or something. That's why they had to make it, like, so that sailors couldn't just keep drinking the fucking torpedo fuel.
Yep.
So maybe... no, it wouldn't have been something weaponized in ancient Egypt. What can you do with beer? It's such a shitty substance. Ooh, I'm gonna say to... I'm gonna say it's some kind of, like, oil for the skin or something. I don't know why I go down healthcare. But
No, I'll
it's
pause
some kind
it.
of healthcare.
They actually used it to pay their serfs.
Oh, okay, they just used it as a currency. Fuck,
Yeah.
okay. I thought I was gonna be saying, in, like...
So there's a couple different things you could have
complete
answered with
different
that. So originally, beer in ancient Egypt was basically just a hobby by women. They'd use it to preserve the grain and they'd produce beer. Eventually, it became popular and it got taken over and made into businesses. And then those businesses eventually got put out because the pharaoh decided, hey, we're just going to make all the beer and we're going to use it to pay our our serf or slave labor.
Who the fuck... I mean... I guess it's better than nothing. Well, is it even better than nothing?
I mean, they got food.
Like, who would agree to that?
They got paid food and beer.
Oh, they got paid food as well. Okay,
Well, yeah. They weren't. Yeah, they didn't just get beer. But essentially by working for the pharaoh, Egypt had like a really huge taxation system, and the benefits that they got back was beer,
Right.
and food.
Sounds like a rough deal. I mean, they were slaves, so I guess it would be.
It's the same thing with medieval feudal serfs. They worked the land and they gave a portion of their crop, and in return they got protection and food.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That was a big gulp.
Oh, God. What country invented cognac?
I thought you were going to say condoms. It's got to be somewhere like... The first thing that came to mind was... I can't even think of the place's name now. Between France and Germany. Belgium. Was the first one that came to mind.
Is that your answer?
Yes. It's going to be like Sweden, isn't it?
I'm going to give you half credit for that because it was France.
Oh!
It was you knew the general region. You just went a little bit too far to the east.
Yeah.
So half credit.
Alright, half a drink. So I'm 1.5 points up on 4 questions?
Yep, that's the fourth question, so it's 1.5 to 2.5.
Man, I remember the first time I ever had like a drink of rum, neat, and it basically left me in tears. And it was like a tiny, tiny amount. And these days I can just like have a shot of whiskey and it'd be fine.
The first drink I ever had, I'm pretty sure, was whiskey.
Right. I mean, the first drink I ever had was probably wine or cider.
Yeah, I never, like, when I was in high school and stuff, like, some kids, like, their parents would like, oh, try some beer, try some wine, try some whatever. I didn't drink until I was in college, and, yeah, it was just, I think it was when I was 18 or 19, which, again, is still underaged over here. I had just a little bit of whiskey, and I loved it. I continue to drink whiskey to this day. All right, next question.
Okay.
So, name the different distilling regions in Scotland, and you only have to name 3 of them. You'll have partial credit if you can get 2.
Wait, well, how do you mean by regions?
So Scotland is so they'll call it
the counties.
What?
The counties.
No, not the counties. Like there's a regional name. Like, if I was talking about, like, for instance, this isn't one of them, but, like, if I say, like, in the U.S., right, I'm talking about there's a distilling region, I'd say, like, you know, mountain, plains, that sort of thing. That's how they're named in Scotland. So I will say that there's 4 of them, generally accepted there's 4 of them.
How many do I need to get?
You need to get at least 3 for full credit, at least 2 for partial.
Okay. Alright, I'm ready when you are.
Alright, and go.
Okay, Glen?
No.
Okay, Valley?
No.
Fuck. I don't know, Lake?
No.
I'm just, like, naming terrain now.
Well, you're in the right ballpark. You just gotta...
Okay.
Think of...
Forest.
No. There's no forests in Scotland.
Yes, there are.
Yeah,
there are no forests in Scotland. How stupid are you? There's no wood in Scotland.
There's only sheep and Scotsmen.
That's Wales.
Oh, okay, fine. I don't know what your weird places are. All right, we wasted like 10 seconds talking. Keep
mountain.
Going.
No, you already said that wouldn't be one.
Yeah.
Fuck. Hilltop.
No. God, I thought this was gonna be a lot easier.
Fucking
Look
Mario
at the bottle
World?
you're drinking
I don't
from.
know.
Look at the bottle you're drinking from.
Cheat. Yeah, it says Glen on it. It says Glen.
No, keep reading.
It's past a minute now.
All right. Why does my camera keep getting darker? Hold on a second. I have to close
wait.
this.
I want to find this on the fucking bottle before you say anything.
Okay, I won't say anything. I'm gonna kill
Highland. Fuck.
Highland. There you go. That's one of them. I'm gonna kill my camera for just a sec because the sun is coming out and my camera is auto-adjusting and it's making everything super dark.
Okay, I'm amazed that Glen isn't one of them, by the way.
Yeah, it's not Glen. So do you want me to name them?
Go on,
The commonly accepted ones, and it's gonna be... You can hear me all right?
Yeah, go on.
This has gotten very low budget because I'm going across the room to close my shades.
Yeah.
So it's Highland, Lowland, Speyside, and Isla.
Space what?
Speyside. That's why I said 3 out of 4, because that one is a little bit more eclectic. But Island, Highland, and Lowland, those are the easy ones.
Island, Highland, and Lowland.
Yeah, or Isla, depending on who you're talking to. It's either Isla or Island.
They're missing a trick. That's all I'm saying. There's no fucking trees in Scotland. Fucking hell.
I don't know.
That's like me saying there's no English in...
No Britons in England, yeah.
No Britons in England.
I don't know. Every picture I've seen of Scotland, there's no trees.
Yeah, there are fucking like no country on the planet could really get by without trees.
Like little clusters of them. There's no forests. Again.
Yeah, there's big forests. Anyway,
just
sorry.
Pictures I've seen. I'm going off of. I haven't been to Scotland. I was supposed to go there last spring, but then COVID. Sorry.
And now you need to have their haggis and whiskey crisps that I was telling you about.
All right, this one I'd actually like to try that. All right, this one should be. I think this one will be fairly easy.
I need to take a drink.
What?
I needed to have some of my Highland produce.
Okay. This one should be very close to home for you. Okay. What spirit did the Americans give their army in a ration during the Revolutionary War? The ones we fought y'all.
I know you meant alcohol, but the first thing I thought was like the wolf spirit.
They gave him the spirit of the Lord.
Timer.
Yeah, I'll start it.
God, you suck at this. Alright, okay. What spirit did they give them during what?
So it was an army ration.
Okay. Oh fuck! I actually know this. At least I should know this.
It's not something specific. It's just like a general type.
Yeah, it was. Was it whiskey? Hang on. No! Don't speak.
I won't say anything.
It was because I remember I've read I've heard a bit of an audiobook on like the American. The founding of America, kind of. And I remember they gave them something. It was like, rum was like for the higher up officers. And I want to say it was like bourbon or something, or whiskey or something for the lower class. It was something cheaper than that. I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry, I'm done.
It was rum.
I'm disappointed in myself. It was fuck!
I'm gonna give you partial on that because they gave the soldiers half a pint of rum was their ration, and when the rum ran out, they got half a pint of whiskey.
Wow, so I said both of them, I just fucked it up.
Yeah.
I got the complete wrong place.
That's why when you said rum, I was tempted to go like, oh, that's it.
I'll show your face light up. But I could be like, I don't know. How's the beer?
It's quite good. You mean this totally non-alcoholic thing that I'm drinking right now?
Yeah, the bagel juice. Made of real bear.
Here's one.
Okay, you gonna remember to restart this counter?
Yeah, maybe. What are the two highest per capita alcohol consumption countries on Earth?
Okay, countries. Okay, I'm gonna say it's gonna be something like the richest country. No, but like I was gonna say the richest country is like Dubai, right?
Yeah, it's pretty rich.
But they have very, very strict laws on when you can and can't drink. Like you can be very easily arrested for drinking in the wrong circumstances there. So it's probably not going to be that. I'm going to say Russia. And I want to say something like Jamaica, but I don't know. Russia and Mexico is what I'm going to go with. Because they like their tequila.
You're partially right. I wrote down that if you got even one of these, you got it. So you got Russia. So it's Russia and Portugal.
Portugal, really?
Russia and Portugal both consume more than 13 pure liters of alcohol per year per person above the age of 15. And it's just in excess of that. They didn't put a top limit on that.
Is it worrying that I drink far more than 13 litres per year?
But no, that's 13 litres of pure alcohol.
Oh, okay, right.
So,
like
just like a bottle that's 40% is not going to be...
Shit.
this. Yeah, so it's a lot more than you think. I worked it
it's
out.
okay,
It's
maybe I
like
don't drink
drinking
that
like
much.
2 or 3 bottles of liquor a week.
Actually, what am I saying? I definitely don't drink that much. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's some very cheap alcohol they must have.
I mean, it's vodka. Beer is classified as a soft drink in Russia.
Well, what are they drinking in Portugal? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know, probably a lot of wine.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, hang on. Wait. Portugal... I'm having a dumb moment. That's like... I was never good at geography, alright? Tell me where Portugal is. It's like next to Spain, or am I thinking of a different country?
You're right. Yeah, it's the so it's like Spain is most of the Iberian Peninsula, and
Okay.
Portugal is.
So, I mean, they've got Spain and France next to them, so it makes sense that they drink a lot of wine. I guess. I don't know.
Portugal also used to have a huge drug problem compared to the rest of Europe, but
Yeah.
they implemented like some pretty interesting reforms, and
Is it a problem?
it's significantly
Okay.
gone down. It was a problem with they had a high degree of drug use, which I guess goes along with the drinking.
Oh, wow. That's weird. Alright, okay, so just to hear me out right now. This is going to sound absolutely stupid. I had my drink of whiskey. I mean, whisker.
Wait, why?
Milkshake.
You got the question right?
Wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, well. I had a victory sip. Don't shake your head at me, sir.
Go on.
I had to that. I had the coffee, and it tasted like a McDonald's chicken burger.
What?
That's why I said it sounds stupid, but I genuinely got that taste in my mind. Anyway,
You're right. It does
Go on.
sound stupid.
Oh shit! I just picked up my drink again.
Alright.
Go on. Before I, yeah.
Let's see here. Oops, I just hit the mic again.
And I swear to God, I'm not drunk at this point. This is just happy me.
What was a unique feature of the Stolshanaya vodka bottles that were produced out of Soviet Russia?
They had sexy ladies printed on the back of the label.
You're thinking of Sailor Jerry's.
I am. Sorry.
Is that your answer?
No. Stolshanaya. So this is Russian. I
It's
guess,
a
obviously.
Russian vodka, fairly famous one. They've been around.
I think it is. Has it got like a maid on the front or something?
No.
Like a person. I don't know why I'm thinking of like a dairy maid person.
No.
Stolshanaya. So what's unique about it? You said, right?
Yeah. What's unique about the bottles specifically?
I was gonna say something like it's made of fudge or something, but if it's about the bottle, then that's no. Did it come with a brown paper bag?
No.
Damn. Am I allowed to keep guessing, or is that like?
No,
wait,
keep
what
guessing.
the-
You've still got some time.
It comes in a spherical bottle.
No. Got 10
Bottle's
seconds.
plastic. A plastic bottle?
No. I mean, the cheap ones these days are plastic, but
It's biodegradable. Oh, fuck.
no, they didn't give a fuck about that in Soviet Russia.
I didn't either, but
The
you know, I had
bottles
to guess
were
something.
the bottles were designed so they couldn't be closed again once they'd been opened. Because the idea was that
genius.
the average Russian at the time would finish a bottle of vodka in one sitting.
God damn. That's smart. Alright, drinking.
All right, this one is a bit
What
of a.
question are we on?
Hmm?
What number are we on?
Let's see. I've been kind of like flopping around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And I've got about
We've got-
2.5 right.
We're about halfway through.
Okay.
We're a little more than halfway through. We got 6 left.
Okay, so 9 questions through.
Yeah. So the next one is, and I'm gonna have to explain why this is relevant. So there's a Australian wine that I actually really like called 19 Crimes, and it's named after the 19 crimes that you could be transported for life to Australia from during the age of the British Empire.
Okay.
So the question is, name at least 5 of the 19 crimes that could get you transported for life to Australia, and if you can get 10, then it's double points.
Wait, oh, fuck. Okay, Christ. Alright, something against the crown, so like, fuck, what's the word when you go against the crown? I want to say heresy, but I know that's not it. Fuck it, stealing, murder,
Alright, what kind of stealing?
grand larceny.
Oh my god, wow, okay, yep.
Wait, holy shit. Okay, murder, yeah.
Literally number one on the list is grand larceny.
Like, abuse, like in a, I don't want to say the word, but S space X space. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, okay.
The R word.
That's accurate, yep, that's number 13.
Fucking, can I have more time for this? Because I gotta get 10.
Yeah, take your time. Actually, no, I'm not going to do a time.
Okay.
Let's say, actually, I'll keep it going. I'll say you have 3 minutes, because this is a tough one.
So I got 3 so far, right?
You've got 3 so far, and honestly, if you get a little bit more specific with stealing and not just grand larceny, you might get some more.
Grand Theft Auto.
They didn't have cars. This was like
Wait, what year was this?
This is like the 1700s.
Oh, I don't know that! Alright. Grand
the
Theft
British
Carriage?
Grand Theft Carriage. No, that is not one of them.
Okay, embezzlement.
I'll take that one. Yeah, that fits this one.
I still can't think of the word that's like going against the crown. It's like traitor, but on a larger scale. Yeah, I can see your face. You know that what I'm thinking. Deserting the cause, like if you're at war and you desert your post.
Yep, that's one of them.
Okay.
You're up to 5. You've made 5. You want to keep going? You got a minute left.
Smuggling. Smuggling?
Yes, that's 1. That's 6.
Fuck. Serial killing. Like.
No, that's not on here.
It
all falls under the. You already did murder, and that's what's on here.
Financial fraud. Fraud.
That is on here. That's 7.
Enslavement. No, wait, it's 1700s. That was probably okay.
No, actually, the British Empire was pretty much squashing it out around that time.
Oh, okay. Fuck. I don't know. Trying to cheat in a vote or something like. Oh God, I keep coming back to heresy. Insulting like a policeman or something, like attacking a policeman. Shit, I got nothing. Your time's up.
All right, cool. So you got 7. So that's just single point. Let me read you the full list.
Okay.
Grand larceny, theft above a value of 1 shilling. Petty larceny, theft under 1 shilling. Buying or receiving stolen goods. That's the one I gave you for fraud, because that's basically Or smuggling. I gave you that one for smuggling. Stealing lead, iron, or copper, or buying or receiving said.
There were a lot that were just about stealing, weren't there?
There were.
Fuck.
Impersonating an Egyptian.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Stealing from furnished lodgings.
God, walk like an Egyptian would not have gone down well in those times.
Setting fire to underwood.
Underwood? What's underwood?
Like, the brush at the bottom of a forest.
Oh, okay.
Stealing letters, advancing the postage, or secreting money. So, basically, you said something about smuggling cash or something. I can't remember exactly. Yeah. Assault with the intent to rob. Okay. Stealing fish from a pond or river. Stealing roots, trees, or plants, or destroying them.
I should have thought about saying about like private land because they were like big on that.
Yeah, the whole lords and things. Bigamy. Yeah. I don't actually know what that means.
That means like it's something to do with like fucking someone out of
wedlock.
I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
Or it doesn't matter. Assaulting, cutting, or burning clothes. Counterfeiting.
Wait, cutting clothes? Sorry, what?
Well, so assaulting and cutting or burning clothes. Yeah.
Oh. Wait, so like attacking someone, not
Yeah.
just like cutting up a piece of clothing.
It's not very clear.
Oh.
Counterfeiting the copper coin, clandestine marriage,
Okay.
stealing a shroud out of a grave, waterman carrying too many passengers on the Thames, if any drowned.
Wait, so if someone drowned on his boat ride, then he got sent to Australia?
If he was found to be transporting too many people, so he had an overcrowded boat
Oh,
and
okay.
like somebody fell overboard.
I think it's a bit rough to specifically target the boatman, but whatever. Especially when there's a whole,
Yeah.
fucking River Styx shit.
That's a weird... Alright. Incorrigible rogues who broke out of prison and persons reprieved from capital punishment.
Right.
Embuling naval stores in certain cases.
Okay.
So
there was nothing actually about, like, betraying the crown.
No, there wasn't. I imagine
Wow,
you'd just be executed in that case.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's still law today.
I mean,
Like, genuinely. That's, like, the only way that you can
treason...
get executed in
I'm pretty
England.
sure treason's a death sentence in the US,
Treason!
too.
That's the fucking word, not heresy.
Heresy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still a federal death sentence in the US if you commit treason.
I mean, there's quite a few death sentences in the US, but it's the only death sentence in the UK.
Most of the states have gotten rid of it.
There's Texas.
Oh, of course not. Okay. What is the living ingredient in beer? Oh, by the way, I forgot I had to...
Oh shit, I just drank. No, wait, I was meant to drink. You're not meant to drink. Don't drink! Don't drink! No drink!
No, I was meant to drink.
What?
You got 5. That was
I
the
need
limit.
To get 10, I thought.
No, 10 was double points.
Oh, shit. Alright, well, hang on. Can we restart this clock? Because I didn't even know the question.
Alright. What is the living ingredient in beer?
Oh, it's the fucking, like, the culture, the little, like, microorganisms.
What are they called?
Bacteria.
More specifically, I don't think they're bacteria, honestly.
Yeah, they are.
Alright, well, but what is it called?
Yeast.
There you go.
Oh my god, I feel so clever.
For some reason, I
I don't know
thought
why,
yeast
yeah.
was a fungi.
Can be if you get him to drink enough.
That was painful. That was painful to listen to.
Hey, look. I'm just saying, remember that fucking knife joke from yesterday that made
Alright.
you laugh?
This is mine, not yours. Just
Mm.
keep going
I'm drinking.
on my turn.
I'm drinking coffee.
Alright.
Ah, I got my Robin mug. Yeah, do you remember that knife joke from last night?
Which one?
So you wrote the, why did the knife cross the road?
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back with a slammer of a joke.
What, you were an edgy fellow or something? I don't remember it, actually. I remember I made that knife joke, and I remember it being awful, but...
He couldn't cut it on the highway.
Oh, fucking hell.
It made you last night you're like, oh, actually made me laugh. I can't not vote for it.
Yeah.
I was so proud of that,
But I
even
won't
as
admit to
bad
it
as
today.
it was.
Alright. Why are Britons called
Britons?
limeys by Americans?
Do you mean British?
Britons?
You don't say Britons, you say British.
Oh, no, you would say either the British or Britons.
I've never heard anyone say Britons.
Okay, well, that's...
You heathen.
It's a word.
Heresy! Why are they called limeys? I
Yeah.
guess they, like... I don't know. They suck limes?
A little more specific than that, why?
I don't know. I'm going back to tequila now because we're talking about alcohol. By the way, I haven't restarted the clock.
Fuck. Alright, you have 30 seconds.
What the fuck? Because what?
Well, you already took 30 seconds.
Something about, like, the trade of exotic fruits.
No. The reason they're called limeys is because the British Navy, when they supplied the gin or grog ration to their sailors to prevent scurvy, they would mix in lime juice. The citrus in the lime juice would prevent scurvy.
Right. That's very upper class of them. I mean, when I drink gin, I don't even bother with the lime.
It does. I mean, it comes down to the whole, like, the idea of a gin and tonic being, like, tonic water, lime, and gin. And that was what that's basically, well, it's sort of what grog would be. And that's where
Personally,
grog comes from.
I hate lime. I also don't like gin.
I love citrus fruit.
Alyssa is the gin person.
I'm okay. Like, I'll have, like, a gin and tonic every now and again, but not that often.
Yeah.
It's an occasional indulgence for me.
Are okay. Like, I wouldn't drink... Like, the unicorn gin is delicious, but that's because it's just sugary as fuck.
Alright. Another one down.
Alright. Down as well. Oh, yeah, fucking... Pardon me. Need to pour another 1 sec.
Yep.
That was only a half drink. But go on.
The next question is... What... Sorry. I phrased this question badly when I wrote it down. A tax placed on this beverage was the cause of the first rebellion in the U.S.
Whiskey.
Oh, okay. I didn't even have to start the clock. Yes, it's whiskey. We had the, like, almost immediately after we, became our own independent country in, like, I think it was late 1700s, early 1800s. They put a tax on whiskey, and George Washington had to put down a fucking rebellion.
Yeah, I'll always remember. I think it was a Drunk History article where they were telling a story about how, I say a story, a real story, where a person during Prohibition, they went to New York to see how quickly it would take them to basically find alcohol, and they were driving into New York in a taxi.
And the taxi driver
was like, "Do you want a drink?"
Yep. I know that story. That's a classic. But yeah, I mean, the U.S. and...
They also explain, like, where the phrase "the real McCoy" comes from as well.
There's also a quote from a British naval officer in the late 1800s, I want to say. And his quote was, "I'm quite certain that the Americans can do nothing without a drink. When you make a bargain, you drink. When you close business, you drink. When you win in elections, you drink and cheer. When you lose, you drink and swear." And it was just, like...
That was a very good voice. You should use that voice.
What, the voice I just did? Like, are you making fun of me, or was that actually good?
No, it was actually a good voice. Anyway.
Man.
All that D&D practice. Anyway, yes, go on.
Okay, so, this is one that I did feel the need to include one mixed drink question, so... Or one cocktail question. What is the difference... So... What is the difference between a Martini and a Gibson? I will say that they are both drinks that are made with vermouth and either vodka or gin.
Is a Martini made with, like, ground coffee?
So a Martini, the way you make a Martini... hold on, I should have started the clock. A Martini is made with gin, vermouth, and an olive.
Yeah. And what was the other drink?
A Gibson.
Gibson.
There's one difference between them, and I will say that they
I
both...
want to say it's got, like, cream or something.
Is that your final answer?
No. I don't know. It's got a pickle in it instead of an olive.
Oh, you're so close. Instead of an olive, it has an onion.
Oh, come on. A pickle is just, like... An onion that's been pickled.
I will give you half credit because you figured out that the difference was the type of plant accoutrement. So half credit.
Alright. What was I thinking of that had coffee in it?
Kahlua, probably. Or a White Russian?
No. No, not like that. I don't know. Anyway, I love coffee and alcoholic drinks. So good.
Espresso martini?
That was probably what I was thinking of.
There is an espresso martini.
Yeah.
I'd never drink one of those things. It'd be bouncing off the wall for days. Caffeine does not sit well with me because I don't drink that much of it. All right, 2 questions remaining.
Okay.
So.
These have all been true to the theme so far, pretty much.
Thank you. I'd like to think that I designed it well. In whiskey distilling,
okay.
What is the angel's share?
Is that like... I don't know, is that like the last scoop out of the barrel, as it were, that's like... where the sediment has like fallen to the bottom and it's like an extra strong... I don't know what I'm fucking talking about.
You got time. Just tell me when you get your final answer.
The angel. I'm gonna say it's like the most alcoholic part of the batch.
Okay. That's
Maybe it's
wrong.
been aged the longest, or it's got the most like concentrated, like, because all the flavors like drift to a particular
I can
part
see
of it.
your thinking, but that's not it.
Okay.
So the angel share, when you're distilling whiskey and you put it in the barrel to age, what you'll find is you fill the barrel completely, but when you take it out, there's some whiskey gone, and it's through just evaporation, soaking in the wood, whatever.
Yeah, I got you.
And it was called the angel's share because the idea was that
that they drank it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's the angel's share.
Okay.
And the final question.
Okay.
What is white lightning?
It's absinthe, isn't it?
No.
Huh.
I'll give you another shot.
Vodka?
I'll say it is an American thing.
White lightning. Yeah, I'm thinking of the White Russian.
Yeah. It is American.
Is it? Is it the American equivalent of the White Russian? Maybe.
No. God damn it.
All right, White Lightning.
It's. I will give you 2 hints. It is American, and it's not a mixed drink.
Oh. It sounds like something new agey. Like, not something with old character to it. Smug ass face there. I don't know. Some kind of like... No, I don't know.
Alright. That's a minute anyway. I'll take this last one with you, but it is the name for moonshine.
Ooh.
Moonshine was referred to as white lightning.
How the fuck did I not get that?
So
America's famous for its fucking moonshine.
There were multiple reasons for it, and no one's 100% certain exactly where it came from. But whiskey, before it's been aged, is like a very pure, like, clear color. So there's the white part. Obviously, because it was very strong and very unrefined. It hits like a fucking truck.
Yeah,
that's one idea of where it came from. But the other thing is it became famous during Prohibition, because moonshine was one of the only ways to get liquor in the U.S. when it was banned like that. So you would have these people driving these crazy-ass cars that bored holes through to make them lighter and faster, and, there's the other potential origin for the lightning part of white lightning.
Fuck.
There's a lot of different rumors as to where it exactly came from. I didn't do much.
I know very little about the history of alcohol generally. I know about if you'd ask what's the average percentage of a bottle of whiskey kind of thing, then I'd have a chance.
You didn't do that bad. I think you probably, including the half
a lot
points.
Of halves.
No, including the half points, you got about 6 out of 15, which isn't terrible. But I also realized that I probably made that a little bit too hard.
No, I've told you before, I'm just bad at pub quizzes, Joan. I don't know the history much. I'm very good at things that if you give me an equation, I can work it out really quickly because I'm quick at thinking on the spot.
Maybe I'll think about that for next time and put together some kind of a puzzle. Give you some kind of some brain teasers. Oh man.
But yeah, good questions though. Very it feels like I've learned something today.
I tried to keep them like all over the place, and you know.
I'll probably forget it all by tomorrow because of the amount I've drunk. But
oh
White
man,
Lightning, yeah, holy shit! I think they even say that in Red Dead, like
White Lightning.
There's a lot of talk about moonshine in Red Dead because obviously it's like Origins of America.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fun times. All right. You know what? Any final thoughts before I close this out?
Whiskey and coffee taste like McDonald's.
Okay. And there we're gonna end it there. This has been the end of episode 30 of the TMCJ podcast. Our fifth, sixth quiz segment. Thank you everyone for listening.
30,
it's been an absolute pleasure doing this podcast, and we are gonna keep us going.
We're going to keep us going, indeed.
Until next week, Blue.
Have a jolly, spiffing old week.